You've seen them advertised everywhere. High-tech sleeping bags that promise to keep you warm no matter how cold it gets. The ads make it seem like all you need to survive a frigid night in the wilderness is this one piece of gear. But what if I told you that these promises aren't always kept? What if your high-tech sleeping bag doesn't keep you warm when you need it the most? In today's video, we're going to uncover the truth about these so-called miracle products and why relying on them could leave you out in the cold, literally. Let's start by looking at what these high-tech sleeping bags promise. Most of them boast about being made from state-of-the-art materials, designed to trap your body heat and keep you insulated even in sub-zero temperatures. They're often marketed as essential for anyone who's serious about survival or winter camping. You've probably heard claims like, "This bag will keep you warm down to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit," or "No more freezing nights. This bag guarantees warmth." It sounds like the perfect solution, right? Who wouldn't want a lightweight, compact sleeping bag that offers such high levels of protection against the cold? But here's the thing, real-world conditions aren't as predictable as a lab test. While these sleeping bags might perform well under controlled conditions, the wilderness is anything but controlled. There are numerous factors that can affect how warm you stay in your sleeping bag, and unfortunately, many of these high-tech solutions don't account for them. For example, moisture is a major enemy. If your bag gets wet, whether from rain, snow, or even condensation inside your tent, its insulating properties can diminish significantly. Even the most advanced materials can't keep you warm if they're saturated with water. Before we dive deeper into the strategies and tools every survivalist needs, I want to let you in on something special. If you're serious about mastering the art of survival and want access to some of the best gear and resources out there, don't miss out on the incredible products I've linked in the comments below. These are handpicked to give you an edge, whether you're just starting out or already seasoned in the world of survivalism. Trust me, you don't want to overlook these essentials. Click the link and elevate your survival game today. Another problem is user error. Many people assume that just because they've bought the best gear, they don't need to worry about anything else. But the truth is, how you use your sleeping bag is just as important as the bag itself. For instance, did you know that wearing too many clothes inside your sleeping bag can actually make you colder? That's right. By layering up too much, you can trap moisture against your skin, which then cools down and leaves you shivering. Another mistake is not using a proper sleeping pad underneath your bag. The cold ground can sap away your body heat faster than you might think. And without a barrier between you and the earth, even the best sleeping bag won't keep you warm. So, what do the experts have to say about this? I reached out to a few seasoned survivalists and cold weather campers, and they all had similar advice. Don't put all your trust in the gear alone. One expert told me, "Your sleeping bag is just one part of your sleep system. You also need to think about your shelter, your clothing, and your overall strategy for staying warm." Another pointed out that survival isn't just about having the right tools. It's about knowing how to use them effectively. You can't just buy a high-tech sleeping bag and expect it to solve all your problems. You need to understand how it works and what its limitations are. To drive the point home, let's look at some real-world examples. I found a few stories from people who learned the hard way that their high-tech sleeping bag wasn't the silver bullet they thought it would be. One camper described a night where the temperature dropped unexpectedly, and despite being in a bag rated for those conditions, he still found himself freezing. "I thought I was prepared," he said, "but I didn't realize how much the wind chill would affect me. My tent wasn't up to the task, and I didn't set up my camp as well as I should have. By the time I realized my mistake, it was too late. I spent the whole night shivering." Another story comes from a survival instructor who tried out one of these bags in a controlled wilderness training exercise. Despite all the advanced technology, he found that it couldn't compensate for poor camp setup and inadequate clothing layers. "These bags are great, but they're not magic," he said. "They can't make up for bad decisions or a lack of preparedness. You need to think about the whole picture, not just the gear. How to really stay warm." So, if a high-tech sleeping bag isn't enough, what can you do to ensure you stay warm during a cold night in the wild? First, let's talk about layering. The key is to dress in moisture-wicking layers that keep sweat away from your skin. Avoid cotton, which holds moisture and instead opt for materials like wool or synthetic fibers that dry quickly and retain heat. Next, consider your shelter. A tent that's poorly ventilated can cause condensation to build up inside, leading to dampness that ruins your sleeping bag's insulation. Make sure your tent is properly set up to allow airflow, even if it means braving a bit of a breeze. And don't forget about your sleeping pad. As I mentioned earlier, this is crucial for preventing heat loss to the ground. Choose a pad with a high R value, which measures its ability to insulate against the cold. If you're expecting extreme conditions, you might even want to double up with a foam pad underneath an inflatable one for extra protection. Finally, think about your positioning. Find a campsite that's sheltered from the wind and avoid low-lying areas where cold air can settle. If possible, build a windbreak using rocks or snow, or dig a shallow trench to help trap warmth around your sleeping area. These small adjustments can make a huge difference in how warm you stay through the night. One of the most important lessons in survival is knowing your limitations, and that includes understanding the limits of your gear. High-tech sleeping bags are an incredible tool, but they're not a cure-all. They can't replace common sense, good planning, and experience. Before you head out into the wilderness, make sure you've tested your gear in less extreme conditions so you know what to expect. And always have a backup plan in case things don't go as expected. Remember, survival is about more than just having the right equipment. It's about knowing how to use it and when to trust your instincts over your gear. In conclusion, while high-tech sleeping bags can be a valuable part of your survival kit, they're not infallible. The marketing might lead you to believe that they're the ultimate solution to staying warm, but the reality is more complicated. By understanding the limitations of your gear and taking steps to mitigate the factors that can reduce its effectiveness, you can better prepare yourself for the unexpected. Remember, it's not just about buying the most expensive or advanced equipment. It's about knowing how to survive, even when things don't go according to plan. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more survival tips and gear reviews. And let me know in the comments, have you ever had a high-tech piece of gear fail you when you needed it most? Share your stories below, and let's learn from each other's experiences. Thanks for watching, and stay warm out there.